Are you one of these people who create stress and you have so much stress in your life and you want to know how to manage it? Well, listen up. My name is Patty and I am here to help and support you in your spiritual daily practice. And my goal is for us to find those unconscious, unloving parts of us and change them into loving and more conscious thoughts and to have a more conscious and loving world. Makes sense to me. I hope it does to you. So what I have found is that my beliefs are the ones that usually cause my stress. Yes, there are big stressors in life. For example, uh, you're moving. I have some friends who are moving. There is a lot of stress involved in that. I have friends that just lost a loved one, and there's a lot of stress around that. I'm not talking about these big stresses. I used to work in some very toxic environments. Yes. And I also used to work in environments that had high stress activities where if a hospital door didn't open, well, that was stressful. So how do we manage our stress? I'm going to talk about the little stresses, not the big stresses. The little stresses at Christmas time, the little stresses when we go to work, those little stresses we make really big, and it's not necessary because what we're doing is we're reacting to the messages and our beliefs in our mind. And you do that, I do that too. If I have a belief that I am not good enough, that I am not smart enough, that I am not enough, or I have this limitation, or I have that limitation, I will show up as that. And I get stressed out because, oh my God, and I do it all the time. And a friend of mine just recently pointed it out to me, and I was so unaware of it. I was actually very embarrassed. I said, I didn't know I was anxious. I didn't know I had anxiety. She says, well, I thought you knew. I didn't know. I was unaware of it. And that anxiety was from not being good enough. And if somebody's disappointed in me, if they're upset with me, then I get more anxious and I have a really hard time managing it. How about you? So here's the deal. We need to take a look at those stressors in our lives that we cause within ourselves. We are reacting to messages in our heads that are not necessarily true. Who said you were not good enough? Who said you were not enough? Who said you didn't belong here? You just made that shit up in your head. I know, because that's what I do. And I'm kind of over it because I really want a more loving place within me. This morning I was having breakfast with a friend who has known me for a long time, but really closer in a short period of time. And he and his wife spent some time with me. And it was really interesting observation. I was feeling very anxious about something. And I said, I just don't understand this and I don't understand that. And I just don't feel good enough. And he said, Patty, you are just so much love. Why are you focused on what you can't do? And then I realized in a moment, I create my own anxiety by thinking I'm not good enough. Yet here I am operating in the world, operating on a decent level too. I've had these massive career moves. I've had these massive career jobs. I've had a lot of love in my life. I have a lot of more success in my life than I have failures. Yet I have a tendency to look at my failures rather than who I really am as a soul, as a human being. And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to take your journal out today and look at your beliefs. Look at the different parts in your life. Start observing the parts of your life where you have anxiety. And then ask yourself, did I create this anxiety? Not the other person, not whatever you're around. And what I know works for me, and I love it if you would just try it. I've said it many times, but I'm going to keep on saying it. Just place your hand on your heart and say, in this moment, I am safe. In this moment, I am safe. And tune into that energy of love and support. And notice that there is a difference when you place your hand on your heart and you say, in this moment, I am safe. It does not have room for, I am not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I am lonely. I am whatever that belief is. And I invite you so much to just start living from your heart. And if you get anxious, just say, in this moment, I'm safe. And don't engage with anybody until you feel safe. Don't make any decisions while you're in these angsty states. That's a really good thing to learn too. So your daily practice today, it's about looking at your beliefs, seeing where they come from, seeing how you react to your beliefs, how you show up in the world because of your beliefs, and then just love that part of yourself that needs a lot of love, because in the end, you're just okay. I went to this funeral yesterday, attended a funeral, and a celebration of life. And one of these friends said, which was so lovely, he says, Jeffrey was a lot. He had a big, big life, and he had so much love to give. And his everything else was just not that important. And it was so important to me to hear that everything else I think about myself is really not that important. So listen up as I read from Journey to the Heart by Melody Beattie. It's December 21st, and this is how you reduce your stress. Stress can be caused by many things. A healing professor said, it can be caused by toxins, by air, by food, work, money, or love. And sometimes tension and stress are caused by reacting to old beliefs, the messages in your mind. We can't always eliminate the situations that produce stress. Some stress in life is inevitable as part of being alive. Stress is often the impetus that moves us forward into growth, into emotional release and healing, into awareness and change. While we can't and don't want to eliminate all the stress in our lives, we can reduce its impact. We can eat foods we respond well to. We can monitor the quality of the air we breathe. In many situations, we can leave a work or love situation that has become too stressful, or we can take better care of ourselves in these situations we choose to stay in. And we can work on changing stress-producing beliefs within ourselves. I can't measure up. I can't get this job done. I won't be liked. I can't trust myself. I'm not good enough. I'm afraid of being judged. Many of these beliefs are outdated reactions to other times in our lives. And now we know we have the power to change them. And that's what we're doing. We're reacting to these old past patterns that no longer serve us. I mean, you get through the world every single day. You drive a car everywhere and you don't get in an accident. You do it without even thinking. You go to the ATM machine to take out money and you don't even think about your PIN number as you're doing it. You do the dishes without thinking. There's so much. You are a miraculous person. All of us are. And I really want you to take that in and reduce the stress. And my number one way to reduce the stress after in this moment I'm safe is, how important is it? How important is it that I made this mistake? Let it go and move on, because all we have is the present moment. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe and share this with somebody, because you know there is. I love you.